After this short introduction, I want to go and start sketching from here. So let's start by going to Start menu, going to Mechanical Design and selecting Part Design. You can see that by clicking on this, if there is no document open here, you will be presented with this dialog box that tells me that I can change the name right here. I can cancel this out, and I can go to the same environment by going to File, selecting New, and selecting Part from here. And again, you can see that by clicking on this, I will be presented with this dialog box that tells me that I can change the name of the part that I'm going to create. So this is crucial to change the name, because whenever you are going to assemble parts together, you can see that there are some conflicts in name if you have not changed it. Then you will have to change the name right there, but I prefer to change it right here. So I click on OK. If you are not presented with this dialog box, and there are rare situations that you are not presented with this dialog box, you can change the name of the part later. Go and right click on part 1 here, go to Properties, and in Properties there is a Product tab here that you can see the part number, and you can change the part number here. For example, I want to create a pin, so I type it pin. So click on OK. You can see the part name is changed. Anything that you want to change, you should go to Properties tab and change it. For example, if I have several bodies in this part, I can go to each body. For example, part body is the default one. I go to Properties, and there is a feature name here under Feature Properties. You can see that I can change the feature name right here. So if you want to change the name, this is the way that you can do this. Okay. Now you can see that I have 3 different planes. These planes means I have 3 different default surfaces to start sketching in these planes. If I want to create new planes, I will show you in the next section how you can create new planes. If I want to create a new plane, I can go to another environment. For example, the wireframe and surface design has the tools that I need to create new planes, or I can import the toolset that is used for creating a plane. But here I'm okay with these 3 planes, so I start drawing in one of these. I go and click on this, for example XY plane, and go and click on the sketch button here. It tells me that you will be aligned with this plane, and you will start drawing here. Now you can see that some tools are available here. One of the most important tools is Sketch Tools. Under Sketch Tools, I can enable or disable grid by going and clicking on grid button. You can see that whenever you enable it, it turns to orange. It means that this is enabled. I can have snapping, and snapping is a very nice feature, and it helps me to jump to the intersections on this grid if I work with this grid. And let me show you how you can do this. For example, select line, or you can go and type C colon line here, or again you can go to insert menu. This is the my favorite. You can go to profile, you can select a line from here, and you can see different types of line here. I want to select the symbol line and click on some point. You can see that whenever I move my mouse, it jumps into intersections of this grid. So I click on here and move my mouse somewhere and press mouse button again. I can see a line is there. So if you wish to disable the grid, you can just click on grid and grid is gone. And you can see that by selecting the line, still I have snapping, although I do not see the grid. And if I want to disable the snapping, I can click on this, and you can see that snapping is gone. And this is very good whenever you are trying to work with very small shapes. For example, if we want to draw smaller circles than the grid intersections, this is very nice feature. And let me enable snapping again. One very nice thing about the tools is the status bar here. Status bar is in the bottom of Catia, and you can see that whenever you select a tool, it hints you with what you have to do. For example, whenever I start using a line tool, it tells me that select a point to click to locate the start point. This is first point. I click here, and now you can see that it changes and tells me select a point or click to locate the end point, and I click here. So if I want to have a circle, I select circle, and you can see that it tells me select the center for the circle. This is going to be center, and it tells me select a point that shows me how much the radius of this circle is going to be. So I click on here, and now you can see that I have a circle. So the status bar just hints you about what you need to do. For most of tools, a status bar is not enough. You have to know about the tool, and I'm going to talk about tools later, but this is what you need to know. Okay, the next thing is these two buttons, dimensional constraints and geometrical constraints. They are nice whenever you are trying to have constraints. Let me pan to right, click somewhere blank, press Control button, and press the right arrow key. You can see that I am moving whatever this is here to the right, and this is not actually moving, then this is just changing my viewpoint. Okay, now that I'm here, I start drawing a line. So I click on line, press somewhere, and you can see that I'm not going to have it inclined. I just want it to be horizontal. So I click on here. Now you can see this H here. It means that your line is horizontal. Catia recognizes that you are trying to draw a horizontal line, and because the dimensional and geometrical constraints are there, this is going to be horizontal forever. And why forever? Because you can see this H here. If you want to remove this, you can click on H. You can see that it is getting orange. That means it is selected, and you can press delete. Or you can open part body. Under part body, there is a sketch, and this is exactly what you are doing right now. Open it. There is constraints. Open this. And under this, you can see a parallelism constraint. That is exactly what you are working with. So selecting that, you can see this H is highlighted. That means that I have selected the right constraint. I can press delete and remove it. Okay, now I want to show something else. This is the default behavior of Catia, but if I want to draw this horizontally but I don't want to add the constraint, what should I do for this? So I go and disable these two geometrical and dimensional constraints, and I try to draw another line that's going to be, for example, vertical or horizontal, doesn't matter which one. I draw this line. Now you can see that there is no constraint assigned to it, although I try to have it vertical. I can assign a vertical constraint to this, but let me do something. I select this endpoint. You can see that it is a little point in the end that I can grab it and move it to right. You can see now that this is no longer vertical. I select the whole line, go to constraints, define tool, select it, and I click on vertical. Now you can see that it turns to vertical, but there is this warning that tells me you have selected to add a constraint to this line. I added it, but this is on a temporary basis. If I click OK and click OK, you can see that the constraint is gone. Whenever you try to have a line in a specific direction, or you want to have a temporary constraints on that, this is okay to turn these two buttons off and then try to add a constraint. But whenever you want to have it for permanently, you need to enable these and then add the constraints that you want. For example, now that you can see that it is vertical, but if I try to move it again, you can see that it is going to be inclined. I select the line again and go, and having these two enabled, click on vertical. You can see that by clicking on OK, this is permanent. If I try to move this point, the whole line is going to be vertical again. So this will be not temporary, this will be permanently there.